We are behind, again, one of, if not the oldest standing structure in town, circa 1837. And if not for the age, I would not be standing here videoing this right now, because we're about to explore a cistern. Yes, and my best advice to you is don't. Cisterns are problematic in so many ways. However, I have dug cisterns with ponded stuff in it before. Mostly turn of the century crap and junk. But considering the age of this bad boy, you know, I'd be a fool to pass it up. Especially since I can't scare up a hole other than this. So we are going to open it up. And I'll show you how to dig a cistern. Because it's not like digging a privy. Because 99.99% are round. So that throws out the old privy rule of make sure you clean out the corners. Yeah, if it's round, where's the corner? Yeah. But anyway, I'll get to all of that in just a short while here. But I'm losing daylight. It's Tuesday, November 14th at 1 o'clock. Means I have like 3 to 4 hours of daylight. And then I gotta start figuring it out at that point. Yep. So here we go. All right, boys and girls, in this cistern here, I got a bottle down here wiggled loose. And we're going to wiggle it all the way out. Don't know what we got. I'm betting it's side embossed. One of those Heinz bottles, maybe. New York, upside down. Hey, it helps to be dyslexic in this hobby, you know. New York. Okay, that's the clue. What could it be? Oh, are you kidding me? 7 Sutherland sisters? I have never dug one of these up. And it'll fit real neatly in my hair tonic collection. 7 Sutherland sisters. If you never heard of them, look them up. They were, well, 7 sisters that had hair anywhere from 5 foot long to 9 feet long, and they went on tour everywhere. Holy cow, that is too cool. I'm so glad I videoed this thing. I've dug up broken ones before and always went, but now I get to go hee hee and laugh along with it. 7 Sutherland sisters. How about that? Is that cool or what? That is just totally unexpected. That makes my day. Right there. Makes my week. Wait a minute. We're not even halfway through the month. Makes my month. Okay. Well, alrighty. A video op. Which have been far and few between. Partly because I keep finding junk like this. Nice. Oop. Here we go. We must have a, what do you call it? Yeah. Peroxide. Peroxide of hydrogen. Yeah, whatever. Oh well. It's a bottle. It's tooled. It's embossed. Now for the next one, right next to it, maybe. Alrighty, well, after a couple solid hours of digging, I got a pretty good sized dirt mound here. Very convenient to have 2 walls like this just to lump the dirt up against. But at the same time, it's starting to make me nervous because my cistern wall is way back there. I don't know if I can point it out with the shovel or not. There we go. And it's not too far under there, but and curving around nicely with a few bottles here and there. Nothing whoop whoop. 7 Sutherland Sisters bottle is very cool. As I mentioned before, I'd never dug one. And in the meantime, I've been digging up peroxide of hydrogen. Or is it the other way around? Peroxide of hydrogen bottles. Tool top, amber. No big whoop whoop. Latest bottle to come out is this Cruet oil bottle. The 2 pour spouts. Kind of cool. Usually you dig up the funky ground top threaded ones, but yeah, has a little age to it. Everything's turn of the century, late 90s to early machine made, such as that. And other than the peroxide of hydrogen bottles, the only one that came out with any embossing is the 7 Sutherland Sisters. So I don't know what that means. But I'll be back next time to give it hell. In the meantime, I'm going to throw my plywood board over it and secure it for the night and come back. And I'll bring you along. As I maybe didn't mention before, typically everything in a cistern rolls to the edges where the wall is, because the hole only being like a man cover size hole, typically everything piles up straight below where you drop your dirt, and then once that builds up, everything rolls to the edges. Square bottles, round bottles, broken bottles, it doesn't seem to matter. Everything rolls to the edges. And so typically what I'll do is I'll clear out a good 3-foot edge, and then start working my way around the circumference of the hole, because rarely is there anything down in the middle, and what little there is would have been dropped when the cistern was still being used before they filled it in, which happens, once in a while. Find an old soda, but the only time I dig down the middle anymore is when a backhoe or something rips open the cistern on the outside, and then it's kind of fun. Then you just go digging in from the bottom and let everything roll down, and it's kind of fun when you have heavy equipment helping you out, but in this case, yeah, not so much fun. So I'm a little disappointed I haven't dug up anything else. A couple of 1890s Slick Medicine pharmacy bottles, but any of those could have had local embossed pharmacies on them. That would have been nice, but oh no. They gotta be slicky. Anyway, so that's how I dig out a cistern. I'll get back to you on how well it turns out here. Alrighty, today is November the 15th, Wednesday. A little after 8 in the morning, almost 8:30. And I'm here to finish out this cistern dig. Doesn't seem to have really the age I was crossing my fingers for, or even close. That being said, I got one cool bottle out of here so far, and a smattering of others. So we're here for that one cool bottle for today, and fill her in and go to the next hole, which according to the property owner, he says there's a cistern under the house. And those tend to be older, mainly because they were usually outside the house originally and then got built over, usually a kitchen where they could actually pump water out of the cistern below right into the kitchen. So that was a stroke of genius on somebody's part. Anyway, that may be my next one in the spring, who knows. But the cold air is quickly moving in, and I expect we're in for a wintry rebound as soon as this El Nino warm spell ends, which I'm sure will be soon. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get back to you when there's something to get back to you with, or within an hour, just to update you. Well, alright, barely a half hour into it. I've dug up a couple of bottles. I got this one weird one. I'm used to seeing the Eagle chili powder. This one, chili powder, alright. Crown chili powder by blah 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 Forbes Brothers T&S Company. Never heard of it. Never ever heard of it. And I don't see an Owens ring on the base, so I'm guessing it's probably got a ground lip on it. I won't know till I get it home. You know, that's one of those weird things. You know, if it's got a screw top lid like that, it's best if you can preserve it, hang on to it, because screw top bottles, old ones anyway, look so much better with the lids on them. And then this one, a Jewel Tea Company bottle. These are always kind of cool. I think they were a premium company, like S&H Green Stamps. Or for you younger diggers, basically you chalk up so many purchases and you get a free commode or something, or a table, or a desk. I mean, the Larkin Company was famous for that. They gave away furniture and decent pieces too. Anyway, back to the task at hand here. I've only dug this once before in 60 years of digging and scratching my head then. I'm scratching my head now because it appears undamaged. No chips, no cracks. And why would anybody throw away a perfectly good lamp chimney? I mean, hell, I paid $5 in this day and age for new lamp chimneys that replace old ones. But, you know, look at that. You know, I'm expecting to see a hole in it somewhere or a big crack in it, but it looks perfect. Is that crazy or what? Twice in 60 years I have dug up perfect lamp chimneys, not counting chimneys for railroad lanterns. I've dug a few of those, but these generic home style lamp chimneys, you know. And you know what's funny is I never find the lamps, pieces or whole or otherwise. I mean, I do find them, but not with the chimneys. And whenever I find the chimneys, broken or whole, I usually don't find any lamps, broken or whole. Go figure. Well, alrighty, boys and girls. After an hour and a half of digging and a half hour of BSing, we have kind of reached an impasse here. Because this cistern runs so close to the wall, I have chosen not to dig out that section there. Though I'm sure it would be okay, I don't want to take chances. And you can see the original beehive portion still remaining along there. And originally, I mean, it was beehive all the way to right in the middle, where it was only Usually only a couple of feet in diameter, barely big enough to pull a 5-gallon bucket through. Anyway, that being said, since our globe digging or chimney digging days, we did find a Wyeth Brothers small size union oval, not strap side, a plain hydrogen peroxide, a plain, God only knows, maybe a candy jar, some yellowware, looking more yellow than that other, a nice little pickle. One of these days I'm going to dig up one of those honey jars with the beehive and the bees buzzing around it, because that looks just like one of those. A smattering of Slick Junkers, a Slick beer from Milwaukee. That's why I presume it's a beer. WF&S. What the Fred and Sam? Yeah. And I think the last bottle out of the hole was what looks like a sample Florida water. Anyway, slim pickings today. It was slim pickings yesterday. Got a couple of these Egea. That's got to be a G. Elgaea. Elgaea. With some decent lids still on them. Anyway, time to fill her in. I've got other things to do today, so that's it. Okay, these are the only things I drug home from the cistern dig. Homeowner got a couple of dozen of odds and ends and slicks mostly, and they're thrilled to death with those. So he's going to be over the moon when he when he gets everything from the right of the Sutherland sisters bottles. Well, I'll probably hang on to the lamp chimney just because it's so unusual. It did have a dull sound to it. I don't know if you can hear that very well or not, but whenever something sounds that dull, there's usually a crack in it, and sure enough, there's a crack in it right there. Kind of loops up and around a little bit, you know. But hey, all in all, I mean, shoot, you never dig them undamaged, you know, let me put it that way. They're thin as light bulbs. A standard pickle from the day. What was interesting was I was finding machine-made ones right next to this tool top guy. Not only machine-made, but threaded, screw top, and not ground-topped ones either. Which is what's interesting about cisterns. I suspect, if they had a lot of water in them, things floated around and got jumbled. Nature of the beast. But what is interesting is this cistern appears as though it was dry when they threw all the bottles in it, and the reason I know is because I only dug up one bottle with a partial label. It wasn't quite readable, but it was all there. And typically, when bottles come out of a wet cistern, because the labels are underwater, they come out sometimes almost the day they were put on, in real good shape, in other words. So I don't know what was going on with this one, but they got jumbled a bit. The Elgaea is actually a C, I believe. It's pretty hard to tell, but after I cleaned it up a little bit, Elkea, and it has a fancy little coat of arms on it with the name Elkea diagonally through there, and it says beige up here, and then something I'm not quite able to make out with my naked eye, even with glasses. So I guess that's not a naked eye. But anyway, as a bottle dealer, we have a tendency to try to clean things up best we can. Sometimes with whatever tools are at hand. And this I found searching for bottle brushes in some shop somewhere. And unlike the typical bottle brush, this is like a steel metal bristle brush, like a what do you call them? But I mean, that'll poke you. It's like running almost like a steel brush over things. Anyway, I was able to clean this thing up using that brush. Just a little cleaning tip there for those that, I mean, it's like I don't want to get into it, you know, but anyway. And this Jewel Tea guy, I don't recall seeing one this big before. I'm sure they probably come even larger, but all the ones I've ever dug were about 2/3 this size. And that kind of rounded bottom like that reminds me of those Dr. Price's early flavoring extracts with, I think Steel was their partner or something. Anyway, there was an early version of that, and that's what that kind of reminds me of. The little Wyeth bottle, common as all get out. I was hoping a cobalt blue one would pop up because these come in all colors, teal and, you know, aqua and clear, obviously. 7 Sutherland Sisters, you know, I've been looking forever for one of these. And boy, as soon as I saw that big 7 on the front of it, I knew what I had. I was like, oh yeah, this is too cool. At first I thought it was a Whitmore shoe polish, and then maybe a Heinz honey almond blah blah from Portland, Maine. I mean, you always see those things side embossed. Occasionally they're embossed in the older ones are embossed in the middle like this. And then this weird little duck. I've been searching online and through my old bottle library. I finally found an obscure listing in Zumwalt's book, which was written 1,000,000 years ago. But this one's a ground top, which is cool. I was kind of figuring it was because I couldn't see where it was machine made on the base. And in Zumwalt's book, it listed Forbes Brothers as a coffee maker and spices and other household extracts. So chili powder, no doubt, was considered a spice. But other than that obscure listing, and the only bottle they showed was like a shaker type bottle. Apparently they had been in business since 1853, I want to say. It's when they started. So they got, apparently they had a long history, though they must not have made a lot of chili powder bottles because this is the first one I've ever seen. Be curious to see, yeah, and they're out of St. Louis too. That was the other lingering question, is where the hell were they, you know? So according to Zumwalt, it was a St. Louis firm out of St. Louis, and I don't know. I know nothing else. I know nothing. So anyway, meager, but still cool because of that bottle. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be boring you with this video. So there you go. The Seven Sutherlands came to the rescue.